The year was 1258. Baghdad, a city of knowledge and beauty, the heart of the Islamic Golden Age, with its grand libraries and vibrant streets, was about to face something unthinkable. In just a few days, the city would transform from a beacon of culture to a scene of sheer devastation. But how did one of the most advanced cities in the world become a target for such brutal destruction? The Mongols weren't just any army. They were an unstoppable force, known for their lightning raids and unmatched tactics. So when they arrived at the gates of Baghdad, they didn't just plan to conquer, they planned to obliterate. What drove the Mongols to this point? And how did Baghdad, once so powerful, crumble so quickly? Baghdad's golden age and its significance. Baghdad was once a shining beacon of knowledge and culture. During the Islamic Golden Age, this city wasn't just a capital. It was a magnet for scholars, scientists, poets, and thinkers from all over the world. At the heart of it all was the House of Wisdom, a legendary institution where knowledge flowed freely. Here, scholars translated ancient texts from Greek, Persian, and Sanskrit into Arabic, preserving and enhancing the wisdom of earlier civilizations. Algebra, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy all thrived under this single roof. The city's architecture was equally impressive, with palaces, libraries, and gardens that showed off Baghdad's wealth and artistic vision. Its grand mosques and bustling markets brought together ideas and people, creating a diverse and thriving society. But it wasn't just scholars who found a home here. Artists, musicians, and poets filled Baghdad's streets with creativity, making it a true cultural powerhouse. Baghdad's influence stretched far beyond its borders. The breakthroughs made here laid the foundation for advancements in mathematics, medicine, and engineering that we still benefit from today. As a symbol of Islamic prosperity and a center for global knowledge, Baghdad held a special place in the hearts of the Muslim world. This thriving city was a testament to human achievement, a place where the pursuit of knowledge was celebrated. And knowing what Baghdad stood for, all it achieved, all it symbolized, makes its fall all the more heartbreaking. When it was destroyed, an entire world of wisdom and beauty was brought down with it, marking the end of a golden era. The Mongol approach, Hulagu Khan's mission. Hulagu Khan, grandson of the legendary Genghis Khan, was a man on a mission to expand the Mongol Empire further west into the Middle East. He wasn't just another commander. He was a ruthless strategist with a singular goal: to bring every kingdom, every city, and every fortress under Mongol control. Hulagu's path was paved with calculated moves, each step designed to weaken the enemy's defenses long before they even saw his army. To ensure his success, Hulagu didn't only rely on brute force. He was methodical, dismantling resistance step by step. One of his most significant moves was targeting the Assassins, a feared sect based in the mountain fortresses of Persia. Known for their precision strikes and political influence, the Assassins were a thorn in the side of any ruler. But Hulagu approached them with a clear strategy. He led his forces straight to their strongholds, using advanced siege tactics to crush the Assassins once and for all. With this threat eliminated, Hulagu cleared a major obstacle and sent a strong message. No one, no matter how powerful or entrenched, could stand against the Mongol tide. With the Assassins defeated, Hulagu turned his gaze towards the Abbasid Caliphate, the heart of the Muslim world. Baghdad was not just any city, it was a symbol of Islamic power and pride. Hulagu knew that taking Baghdad would be more than just a military conquest. It would send shockwaves across the Islamic world. In his campaign, he used fear as a weapon. His reputation preceded him, with tales of Mongol brutality spreading far and wide. City after city fell to his forces, each defeat striking fear into the hearts of his enemies. And as he approached Baghdad, Hulagu knew he held all the power. His army was massive, his tactics ruthless, and the world watched in horror as he moved closer to the Abbasid capital. Hulagu Khan wasn't just there to conquer, he was there to redefine power in the Middle East. And with Baghdad in his sights, it seemed nothing could stop his devastating march. Political and military weaknesses of the Abbasids. The Abbasid Caliphate, once a symbol of power and influence, had grown weak by the time Hulagu Khan's forces arrived at its doorstep. Caliph al-Mustasim was the ruler, but he faced serious issues within his own court. His leadership was far from strong, and he made the fatal mistake of underestimating the Mongol threat. While Hulagu's forces closed in, al-Mustasim seemed almost complacent, convinced that Baghdad was untouchable. He believed that the city's long-standing reputation would shield it from harm, a belief that would prove disastrously wrong. One of the most troubling aspects of his rule was his reliance on officials who may not have had his best interests at heart. Among them was his Grand Vizier, a man some sources say betrayed the Caliph in Baghdad's darkest hour. This vizier allegedly fueled al-Mustasim's false confidence, advising him that the city didn't need heavy defenses. He may have even gone as far as to secretly encourage peace negotiations with the Mongols, knowing they had no intention of sparing the city. Adding to this was al-Mustasim's misplaced trust in outside help. He believed the wider Muslim world, including powerful leaders from neighboring regions, would rush to Baghdad's defense. But this hope was more fantasy than reality. By this time, political alliances were fractured, and neighboring leaders were preoccupied with their own affairs, leaving Baghdad dangerously isolated. Instead of rallying troops or fortifying the city, al-Mustasim delayed, thinking his allies would soon arrive to save the day. This delay cost Baghdad dearly. When Hulagu's forces finally reached the city, Baghdad was shockingly unprepared for what was coming. Under al-Mustasim's leadership, Baghdad's defenses were weakened by betrayal, false confidence, and an over-reliance on help that would never arrive. The Caliph's misjudgment, combined with internal weaknesses, set Baghdad up for a tragedy that could have been avoided. It was a painful lesson in how poor leadership and misplaced trust can bring down even the most powerful of cities. The siege and destruction of Baghdad. The siege of Baghdad began on January 29, 1258, and it was nothing short of a nightmare. Hulagu Khan's forces surrounded the city, cutting off any chance of escape or support. The Mongols were relentless, employing calculated strategies to wear down Baghdad's defenses. They launched attacks day and night, using siege engines to breach the city walls and inflict maximum damage. The sound of clashing steel and the cries of the wounded filled the air as panic spread among the citizens. As the days turned into weeks, the situation grew desperate for those inside the city. Al-Mustasim's hope for outside help faded, and the realization sank in that they were completely isolated. The Mongols were not just attacking, they were playing a brutal game of psychological warfare. They employed tactics designed to instill fear, using loud war cries and displaying captured soldiers to intimidate the defenders. After weeks of relentless fighting, the Caliph finally surrendered on February 10, 1258. But this marked the beginning of an even darker chapter for Baghdad. The Mongols, fueled by their victory, unleashed a wave of violence that shocked the world. They entered the city with no mercy, and what followed was a gruesome massacre of civilians. Streets that once bustled with life became silent graveyards, as countless men, women, and children lost their lives in a matter of days. One of the most tragic losses was the destruction of the House of Wisdom, a revered center of knowledge and culture. The vast libraries that housed countless manuscripts, texts, and discoveries were targeted for annihilation. Imagine the centuries of wisdom lost as precious books and scrolls were tossed into the Tigris River. It wasn't just a physical destruction, it was an attack on human knowledge and progress. As the city was sacked, the once vibrant marketplace turned into a scene of chaos. Buildings were set ablaze, and treasures accumulated over generations were plundered. The Mongols left no stone unturned in their quest for dominance. The fall of Baghdad wasn't just a military conquest. It marked the end of an era, symbolizing the devastating loss of culture, knowledge, and life. Aftermath and legacy. The fall of Baghdad in 1258 had catastrophic effects that rippled through the Islamic world and beyond. It marked the end of the Islamic Golden Age, a time when Baghdad thrived as a center of culture, science, and learning. The loss of the city was not just a military defeat, it symbolized the collapse of an era that had contributed so much to global knowledge. The House of Wisdom, once a beacon of intellect and enlightenment, was utterly destroyed. Countless manuscripts, including works on mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy, were lost forever in the Tigris River. Imagine the thousands of volumes that held the ideas and discoveries of some of the greatest minds of the time, gone without a trace. This wasn't just a loss for the people of Baghdad, it was a setback for humanity as a whole. In the aftermath, the Islamic world faced a profound sense of loss and confusion. The destruction created a vacuum, and the absence of Baghdad's leadership and knowledge affected scholars and thinkers throughout the region. Other cities tried to step up, but none could replicate the unique blend of culture and intellect that Baghdad had once offered. The consequences of this event reached far beyond the borders of the caliphate. It reshaped trade routes, altered political dynamics, and forced many intellectuals to flee, taking their knowledge to other parts of the world. The fall of Baghdad served as a stark reminder of the fragility of cultural achievements and how quickly they can vanish. As we reflect on this significant historical event, it's essential to recognize its lasting legacy. The lessons learned from Baghdad's destruction remind us of the importance of preserving knowledge and culture. It shows us how interconnected our histories are, influencing everything from politics to the advancement of science. If you found this exploration of Baghdad's tragic fall engaging, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into history. Join us as we uncover the stories that shaped our world and continue to influence us today.